Okay, so I'm going to go over the test that we're going to do for the new 6060 chemical product that we have in our cooling tower here at MCRD. So it's a phosphate test, and what we're looking for is a 3 to 5 ppm residual on this test. So here I have a 1 through 14 instructions that'll be posted on your cabinet here. And so what I'm going to do now is just go through the test, walking through the instructions. Okay. So first on the test, on the instructions for the test, is to collect a water sample from the cooling tower. So here's a fresh water sample from the cooling tower. Next on the instructions it says do a 10 to 40 dilution. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 10 mLs of sample from the cooling tower. And we're going to do 40 mLs of DI water to make up our sample. And just always remember when you're working in the lab to wear your safety goggles, okay? You don't want anything to splash up and hit you in the face. Alright, so once you have your 10 and 40, which will be a total of 50 mLs, mix those together well. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to grab a potassium persulfate reagent packet and 2 phosphor 3 reagent packets. Okay, so first we're going to take the potassium persulfate reagent packet and just verify that you have the right one. And we're going to cut that like so, and we're going to get it ready to go. All right. And we're going to take our sample, and we're going to have 2 sets of 10 ml bottles, okay? So make sure you got the right set. Fill both sets to the 10 ml mark. Okay? And then keep them separated, because we basically, it's one test, but it's 2 separate tests with one procedure, basically. Okay? So then we're going to take our potassium persulfate and we're going to put it in. And we're going to mix it up good. And then we're going to take and we're going to put it into, insert a UV here and start the UV. Okay? And then we're going to start a 10-minute timer on that. Alright? Because ultimately what we're doing is the phosphonate test, and we're doing also a P-react orthophosphate test. We're doing both of them. Okay? So we'll get this one going because this is a 10-minute test, and we can get it started while we do our 2-minute phosphate orthophosphate test. Okay? So we got that. We got those there on that side. So now here we're going to take, here's our other 2 10 ml sample bottles. We're going to grab one of our phosphor 3 packets. Okay? And we want to go to favorites. We want to go to 490 P-react. Hit that. Okay, and we're gonna hit that 2-minute timer on that guy, and we're gonna swirl it. Okay, and get that going. All right. So I'm gonna take this. This is my blank. Okay, it has the sample water in it, but this is my blank, and it's my blank because I don't have any powder pillow containment in it, right? I don't have there's nothing else in here but the water. So that's always your blank. And I always work left to right. So I always have my blanks on my left, and I always have my treated sample on my right. And that way, if you're doing multiple samples, you always know what you got going on. sample, blank, treated. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to put it in here, that way it's ready to go. I'm going to swirl this up a little bit more. Alright, and then we're just going to go another little while here until that gets down. Okay, so that 2-minute timer is up. So we have our blank, we already put it in there. We're going to zero our blank out. Okay, we're going to take it out. We're going to put our treated sample in and hit read. Okay, and they came out at 0.10. So I'm just going to jot that down, 0.10. And then according to the instructions that I'm not going exactly off of, but you can match the video up to the instructions, we're going to take that number, 0.10, and we're going to multiply it by 0.5, and we're going to get 0.05. Okay? So this is the result of the first P-react test, the orthophosphate test. Okay? So now we just got to wait for the phosphonate test to be done, and there's usually about 5 minutes left after you finish this first test. Okay? And here you see it's still cooking. I have my sample, as I said, I always do my blank sample. I have it set off to the left because I know that's my blank sample, and there's the UV. And when it's done doing its UV digestion, we'll carry on with that test. Okay, so our 10 minutes is up on our potassium, on our phosphonate test. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the UV off. Okay, we're going to put my blank sample over here on the left. I'm going to take my UV treated sample out of here. Alright, I'm going to swirl it around a little bit. I'm going to take my phosphor 3 packet. We're going to add our phosphor 3 here to the treated sample that has the potassium persulfate that just got treated for 10 minutes. And we're going to start swirling that, and what we need to do is we need to go to our favorites. We need to switch from 490 React to the 501 phosphonate, hit start, go to the 2-minute timer, hit OK, and we're going to swirl this and we're going to let it go for a little bit, right? We're going to swirl it for, we're going to swirl it. Let's see how long we're going to swirl it for. "20 to 30 seconds, vigorously." Okay, we're doing this test right out of the book, but I did type it up for you here. Okay, that's good. So you can see there's a blue tint to that sample. Okay, that right off the bat, that's an indication that we got some phosphonate in there, so that's a good thing. So what we'll do is we're going to take our blank sample and make sure always that the numbers are facing to the right when you set it in. Okay, and make sure that you wipe off any residual drops or anything that's on the outside or dirt, because that's going to have an effect on the test result. Take a look inside your sample cell. Make sure it's not real dirty or that there's not very much debris or junk in there. All right, keep our equipment nice and clean. We'll put that in there, and we're going to wait, and when we get down to 0, we'll hit read. We'll move forward on that. Okay, so our 2-minute timer is up. Our sample, blank sample, is already inside there, so we're going to hit 0 on that. Alright, we're going to take that out. We're going to put our treated sample in, making sure the numbers are to the right, facing that way. Hit read. Okay, and we got 7.66, okay? So, we're going to take, as per the instructions, we're going to take our 7.66, 7.66. And the instructions I'm meaning by when your 2-minute timer is done on the second test, you zero out your blank, put in your treated sample, hit read, and here we are. We take this, multiply that by 0.5, and we get 3.83. Okay? So what we do now is we take the result from our first test and we're going to subtract that from our second test. Okay? So our 3.83 that we just got minus 0.05, because that was the result from our first test. So minus 0.05 equals 3.78. Okay, so 3.78 is the residual phosphonate that is in our cooling tower right now. And so we're looking for a 3 to 5 ppm residual. So we're in specs of what we want on the phosphonate. So any questions, you can always give me a call or see the operator.